everyone. Emily and Aaron here with the Mega Listing Agent. Aaron, we've got a pretty controversial topic to talk about today.
You might say controversial. I say other things. But Emily, we're going to talk about a figure out there, a big investor, someone who's out in the media, Grant Cardone. And one of the things that he argues is that owning a home in America is not an investment if you live there. He says he'd rather pay rent than a mortgage.
Yeah,
And so he's advising that a lot of first-time home buyers, a lot of young people out there that are starting out, he said they should rent instead of buying a home and building equity and wealth long-term through that investment. And so we're going to talk about why we disagree. And Emily, the reason why we're going to talk about this is because we have a job and our job is to go out and sell the listings that we take, correct?
yeah, 100%.
Well, one of the easiest ways to sell the listings is to make sure that the buyer pool is out there buying. And sometimes they read headlines instead of understanding realities. And so as a great listing agent, if we've got a buyer who's sitting there on the fence saying, I don't know, I think I'm going to wait, or maybe I'm just going to rent, that tells me that they're paying attention to someone like a Grant Cardone who's not talking about the actual benefits of home ownership, especially long-term over time.
Absolutely. And we've got 5 benefits for you all to share with your buyers who are on the fence or maybe thinking about renting for another year or two.
Instead of buying your listing.
That's
So,
right.
all right, Emily, what would be benefit number one? So you have two things. You have principal reduction, which means every time we make a mortgage payment, we're now building equity. Even
That's
if the
right.
property is not going up in value, we are building equity, right? That would be number one. Now, the second thing we have to remember is that we have mortgage interest deduction. The government allows us to take a write-off on up to a certain percentage of the interest we're paying on that mortgage, which
That's
is
right.
savings, correct?
Yep.
In that same thing, number three would be property tax deduction, right? Whatever those expenses, right, that Grant Cardone is talking about are actually tax deductible, which makes owning a home beneficial. Agreed?
Yep.
You know, the other thing that Grant is not talking about while he's out there renting is the fact that we've seen rent on average over the last 5 years increase 3 to 5% in most all cities. And I think we're being conservative on that number. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
So while that person who owns a home, their mortgage has been fixed, assuming they have a 30-year fixed for that same period of time, while that renter, every year, that rent is getting more and more expensive. So home ownership allows you to lock in a fixed rate cost of living. And then I think the last point that's worth making is that I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you've been renting and your lease is coming due, and guess what? Your landlord is going to sell the property, forcing you to move. That's expensive, right? That's turning your life upside down. That's not very fun. When you own your home, guess what? You've got security. And not only do you have security, one of the things that sometimes we hear from buyers when we're in, signs where we're in an economy that maybe there's uncertainty, maybe people don't feel as confident because prices are going up on goods and services. Maybe people don't feel confident because they feel like their job, could change at any moment in time. So Emily, let me ask you this question. Let's say you are going through some economic turmoil in your life. Do you still have to live somewhere?
Yeah.
And wherever you live, are you still going to be paying money to live there unless you're going to move in with mom and dad?
Yep.
Yeah, so here's the question that I have for any of those buyers. Where are you more secure? If you hit an economic rough patch, are you more secure dealing with a landlord or are you more secure dealing with a bank who carries your mortgage? Which one's going to be more flexible with you? It's going to be the bank all day long. That landlord, especially if it's a mom and pop, doesn't have deep pockets to help you through a rough patch, correct?
That's right.
Even if it's a corporate landlord, you think they're very friendly? No, they want you out of there, right? Such that they can put a new tenant in. You don't have much security. Whereas that bank that holds your mortgage, do they want you to go into a distress situation? No, right? Will they work with you, whether it's forbearance, whether it's, some other option they have? Absolutely. So even if you're sitting there, worst case scenario, you're better off working with a bank and a mortgage than you are with a lease and a landlord. Would you agree?
Yes, 1,000%.
But how come Grant Cardone doesn't talk about any of that?
It's all for the headlines.
It's all for the headlines. So anyway, next time you're in a situation on your listings and you're talking about a buyer who wants to wait, who maybe they think it's better to rent, let's remind them about the 5 benefits of home ownership such that they can make the best decision for themselves rather than buying into Grant Cardone's headlines.
Well, and of course, large, mega investors want more renters, right? Because they want renters to make money off of their properties.
Yes, and what is Grant Cardone?
An investor.
He's a landlord. He's a
Yep,
large landlord that wants people renting from him.
that's right.
All right, guys. Hopefully this helps you move some more buyers forward so they can be on a better path of financial security.